Do you want to find out what are the three main types of factor groups that either maybe play the role in developing long-term or chronic insomnia, or they might be the ones that are actually keeping this long-term sleep problem in place for you? These three different factors actually play a role in all sorts of sleep problems that I've seen over the years. So we're really going to look at how these three different types might actually relate to your situation. I'll give you some examples and actually also how these can help you to finally develop the tools and the techniques that you need to overcome your long-term insomnia and sleep problems. So in this video, we're really going to look at this long-term sleep problem. If that's something that you struggle with, then this channel is also going to help you in the coming weeks to get a better understanding of what it takes to finally overcome this sleep struggle that you have. So if you are looking for that kind of content, then I would suggest you hit the subscribe button below. Make sure you hit that little bell as well so I can let you know when I post new videos, and hit the like button below as well so this video can reach more and more people like you that are looking for these kind of answers and videos. If you are new to my channel, very warm welcome. My name is Beatrix Schmidt. I'm a sleep coach, a professional speaker, and the creator of the Sleep Skills for Life program, which is very much my way of helping people like you with long-term sleep problems to finally overcome them. And hence Sleep Skills for Life. These are about practicalities, the tools and the techniques that will help you to make sure that sleep problems don't return in the future. So if you're interested in any of those, feel free to click the link below and find out more about my work and how I can support you and help you with these sleep problems you have. Now, let's come back to the main topic of today's video, which are the three different factor groups you might have actually heard about. So this is very much part of cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, for insomnia. This is where the I comes from at the end, so CBTi. And it really looks at those behavioral patterns, those cause and effects, what might have happened in your life that maybe initiated some of these challenges or sleep problems, and how you can overcome them. So this particular model I'll share with you is called Speilman model. It's a 3P model, which really helps us practitioners to look at what are those different sequence of events that might have happened in your situation, and how these sequence of events or habits, mindsets, routines, behaviors can actually help you overcome the chronic or long-term sleep problems you have. So the first group of factors is called predisposing. These are factors that might have already been in your life way before the sleep problems or the insomnia started. So let me give you some examples. And again, you might be different, so I can't give you the whole range. I've seen many different types of predisposing factors over my last 7 years of working with clients, but I'll share a couple of them with you. So one group within this can be any pre-existing medical conditions. These can be ones that are not yet diagnosed either yet. So this is where your bodies physically change or changing or have changed already, which then results in the sleep affected as well. So whether or not you might have had a recent diagnosis, maybe a new medication, maybe it's perhaps surgery you had or increased level of pain you might have had. So these kind of things can actually play a role, of course, in how you're able to rest, relax, and sleep in the night as well. So that's one, any sort of medical conditions. Another one is mental health conditions. So again, we've been through a very challenging couple of years already, which has affected us mentally too. But you might already have had a mental health problem way before that. So whether or not you're already aware of it, or whether or not maybe you have not yet sought help for it, that can play a role in how the actual chronic insomnia and sleep problems have developed. And then the third one is anything that has been in your life for a long period of time that perhaps you didn't really think about, but it then had an effect on, maybe an accumulation effect on how perhaps your insomnia might have started. So let me give you an example here. I often look at personality traits with pretty much most of my clients, because those are who you are. They're part of you as a human being. But one example here can be that you're actually more of a naturally worried or conscious or conscientious person. So that means you've always been that way, but something has maybe tipped that balance over. It could be that perhaps it's a sequence of events. You might have had a medical condition being diagnosed, and then perhaps you maybe emotionally or mentally has responded to that. So again, can you see how these root causes can actually build up? So any mental health conditions can play a role here as a predisposing factor. Any other childhood traumas, any other sort of very heightened emotions that might have been either in your past. This is where, again, sometimes clients tell me that they've always been told that they were a bad sleeper since childhood. Again, how your family talks about sleep can be one of those predisposing factors as well. How you believe sleep should happen or won't happen could be part of that. The next group here, the next factor group, is what we call precipitating factors. These are generally referred to an event that led to the insomnia to start or sleep problems to start. Again, these are an umbrella way we refer to them as significant life events, but these sometimes can be the tipping points. It might have been that perhaps you've been under stress, but it wasn't a significant thing. It was more an accumulation of that stress that became that significant life event that triggered something. Other examples here can actually be coming from not negative reasons, but for positive reasons. So I have had clients in the past who have started developing insomnia before their wedding day. Again, positive things can also put us under more stress, more pressure. So again, think about maybe some of those events that might have happened in your life just before or around the time when your sleep problems has started or has shown up and maybe you recognize them. So again, these events can be various different things in different people's lives. Again, that's why it's important to not self-diagnose, but actually really look at a sleep assessment, not a self-assessment, so you can really understand what are these different factors that might be playing a role in your situation. Sometimes we don't necessarily notice them because they have been part of our life. And again, I see that with clients when I go through that assessment stage with them. And then the third factor here is what we call perpetuating factors. This is where the sleep problems have been in your life for a while, and you now start changing your behaviors, habits, routines, mindsets, even how you think about sleep. So again, this is pretty normal when you develop long-term sleep problems. So let me give you a couple of examples here. A lot of the times with clients, by the time I speak to them, they would have struggled with long-term sleep problems and insomnia for many months, if not years. My longest suffering client was well over 10 years. So this is not a new problem. This has been in place for a while. And again, if that's what it is for you, then it's really important to seek an assessment. So perpetuating factors can be things like how you even think about sleep. Whereas before, maybe when you slept well, you didn't even think about, am I going to sleep tonight? But now, because you have had that instance of struggle for a number of months, you now think, I'm going to bed, but I wonder if I'm going to be able to fall asleep or I'm going to be able to sleep through the night, how many times I might be actually waking up. So your entire mindset has changed. You're now maybe actually more likely to think about negative scenarios instead of just saying, you know what, I'm going to sleep tonight. So that's a very good mindset example, is approaching bedtime with this concern or hope or question mark around whether or not you're even going to be able to sleep some, and looking at what that perfection is and that pressure of perfection is for you. Often clients who come to me with long-term sleep problems, they now want to have perfect sleep, but the reality is none of us have perfect sleep. Sleep changes all the time. Now you can develop great quality, consistent, good sleep, but it's never perfect. So again, that expectation and putting that pressure on yourself to have perfect sleep can be one of these mindsets. Another example here is behaviors. So again, a lot of the clients that I have come across over the years, what they tend to do is, let's say around 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, and perhaps they go to bed at 10, 11 o'clock, they already start thinking about, and behaving differently. They might actually start turning their phone off, turning the lights off, start think about, oh, let's make sure that I don't do anything that stimulates me. So this is where the behavioral comes from. You've already changed the behavior leading up to, let's say, going to bed. And this is, again, just one example. So think about what are those maybe behaviors, what are those mindsets that you actually already have in place that you haven't when you didn't struggle with sleep problems. And then the third part here is any new routines and habits you put in place in order to improve your sleep. So many clients over the years, when they started working with me, they have come with an entire list of things that they must do to ensure they sleep some. And in their example, all these things they were doing, they weren't guaranteeing good quality sleep, but it's given them this sense of sort of security or perhaps false confidence to say, well, I'm doing something about it. And if I do all these different things, then I have a higher chance of sleeping. But a lot of the times, at least 60% of the things you might be doing in order to sleep well often actually means that it's created a habit that you're now overthinking sleep. And I say overthinking with the utmost respect. I've been there, I know how it feels, but these habits and routines you might have put in place could be the reason why these sleep problems or these concerns about sleep are still in place, because you're thinking about it too much. You're perhaps even spending so much time analyzing whether this new thing you tried has worked or not. So these are the three main types of factor groups. Now, what I invite you to do is look at which ones might actually apply to you. If you've got any questions around them, please feel free to pop them in the comment below. I'm very happy to clarify. Now, the reason these factors will help you to start developing a practical plan is if you realize that it's one factor group or another factor group, you can then base your plan, your practical plan, accordingly to what you've got going on. We're all different. Our sleep struggles are different. Even though sleep is similar, often the triggers and the sequence of events and the cause and effect links are different. So again, that's what's quite interesting about sleep, whether or not it's interesting for you right now or not, but actually getting curious about what is the root cause of your problems, which factor group might be the one, will help you to actually really understand what is that practical plan you need in place to finally overcome it. So in this video, I wanted to cover these three different factors. In upcoming videos, I will look at the how-to. So we're going to look at more of the practicality of what you can do, what you could do, and put in place. But this is not a try thing. So if you have long-term sleep problems, please don't continue just trying things. Seek an assessment, seek some support from someone, especially if it's been going on for well over 3 to 6 months, because you might not notice what things are causing this and keeping it in your life. An outside perspective can really help you to figure out where you need to begin. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button below so I can help YouTube share it with other people as well. And like I said, make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit that little bell so I can keep letting you know when I post new videos. And if you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to me in the comments below, or checking out any of my services to help you really develop that good quality set of sleep skills for life and finally overcome your long-term chronic insomnia and sleep problems. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'm looking forward to seeing your comments below.